Hey, you're listening to the Midlife Plot Twist podcast, and this is episode number 2. Hi, and welcome to this second episode. This week, I want to talk about living in limbo. It can be a really uncomfortable place when you know you want to leave your job to start something completely new, but you're not yet ready to take the leap. Not being ready to take the leap can be for so many reasons. For me, it has included wanting to have a clearer idea of what I will do next, wanting to make sure that I'll be able to stay afloat financially and how, wanting to make sure that I'm not being impulsive or irresponsible so that I don't regret my decision to leave, and taking the time to create a sort of action plan that I can implement as I am leaving and once I've left my position. I also think that there's a big emotional process to go through to allow these ideas to land and see how we feel about them. At the end of the day, it's fear that holds me back from taking the leap at this point. Being in limbo is uncomfortable because I want to move forward, but I don't feel I can yet. At times, limbo has meant that I felt trapped. At other times, limbo has meant that I was indecisive. This was when I hadn't yet made up my mind about what I truly wanted and needed. In any case, it's like I said, it's really uncomfortable. Anytime I'm in limbo or think of this state of being, it makes me think of the tarot card, the Hanged Man. Now, please stick with me here, even if you're not into tarot. To me, I'll let you know, these cards offer a symbolic means of thinking about major themes I might be going through or encountering in my life from a different perspective. They give me new perspective to consider. So, in learning about tarot, I've learned that the Hanged Man card is all about being in limbo. And without getting into all the meaning about it, the lesson of limbo is learning how to wait and to surrender to the moment or the thing that I'm resisting in that moment. It's also about being open to looking at your circumstances from a completely different perspective. The Hanged Man is hanging upside down, after all, on this card. Ugh, surrender. That involves me letting go of a sense of control over my life, which makes me feel deeply unsafe and insecure. And a new perspective requires that I see my thoughts as just that, thoughts about the situation, and I can have a different perspective or truth anytime I choose. That means that I have to take or have a conversation with my ego, which is convinced that its way is the right way every day and coax it into a new way of thinking about the world and seeing the world. Difficult stuff. This all takes time, so people can be in limbo for quite a while. I've been in limbo now for 2 years. At least that's how I felt. And some mornings I wake up excited and imagining what life will or could look like outside the university walls. A new kind of freedom, flexibility, more creativity. And then on other days, I wake up with a huge knot in my stomach. And that knot whispers to me, what if you're wrong? What if this is it? You should stay at the university. And that voice is loud sometimes. It's a practical, rational, and terrified voice. But beneath it, there's another quieter voice, and it says, you're not done yet. There's something new waiting for you. Have I been in limbo though? Actually, when I look at the last 2 years that I've been off work on sick leave, I now see that this is part of the process. It's been part of my process. I see that I needed time and space to recover, to heal, and to become open to alternatives. I also have had to go through the process of surrendering to the idea that I no longer want to work in academia, that I no longer want to be a professor, and that I now have new physical and mental limitations that cause me to want to take better care of myself and to pursue what really matters to me. I don't have unlimited energy anymore, and I don't take my body for granted anymore. My recovery, which is also a rebirth, which is also ongoing, has included things like learning to rest, learning to accept my limitation, and to work within what my body and energy can tolerate, as opposed to driving my body and energy towards whatever it is that my will wants. It has involved surrendering to the truth that me and academia, at least the teaching part, are not a good fit. And unfortunately for me, the teaching part sucks up the majority of my time and energy, no matter how hard I have tried to balance it out with my other responsibilities. I would never have been able to arrive at this new perspective and new way of being if I remained caught up in the day to day of that work. Now, outside of it, I see that I'm like the story of the frog that slowly boiled to death because it just kept adjusting to more and more dangerous temperatures. This also brings to mind that old cartoon meme of the brown dog wearing a black hat who's sitting at a wooden table with a smile and a cup of coffee, and it's surrounded by flames. The thought bubble above the dog reads, "This is fine." We can see that it's in huge danger of losing its life, but it's in such denial for whatever reason or reasons that it fails to see the extent to which it's in danger. How sad. I admit that my denial mechanism can be very, very strong, and my capacity to live in untenable circumstances is overly developed. If I am that frog, I'm trying to wake myself up to see that I'm in a metal pot of water, and the only other time I've seen a pot of water like this was on a stove while my frog friends were boiling to their death. If I'm the dog, I'm trying to snap out of it, see that I'm in a burning building, and get the hell out of there. So, all of this to say, this week, I'm not focused on the moment so much as I'm focusing on the long game of my dreams because of how this is taking time. I'm in the part of my dream where I'm going through the process of wrapping up an important part of my life, and that takes time. This moment in my life should be respected, thanked for what it is offering me, not rushed, and given the permission it needs to do what it's got to do in order for me to be free to start anew without the residue of the old affecting that newborn path. So, if you're in limbo, where you've made the decision in your heart, but it's not yet in your calendar, you're not alone. I am right here with you. The truth is that transformation starts long before we take action. Today, the only action I need to take is to rest, work on my recovery and my healing. There's nothing to figure out for today. I know I'm going to resign. I'm waiting for the right combination of things to come together to let me know that it is time. I'll let you know that one of those things that will let me know that it's time is my intuition. That is a really important part of who I am. And I think I'll be talking about the importance of intuition in another episode. Okay, that's all for this week. Thank you for listening and for being here with me as I figure this all out in real time. If this resonates with you, come and say hi on Instagram or Facebook. Both accounts are under Midlife Plot Twist Podcast, all smushed together in one word. Tell me what chapter you're in right now in your life and what plot twists are surprising you lately. Until next time, be well.